Hi, I'm Alan Carrington and welcome to this Peacemakers training course. Peacemakers is based at 2 Wells north of Adelaide in South Australia. Our aim is to research, model and teach sustainable community development from a biblical worldview. This also includes business and education. I'm excited about this being our first training module in our course titled A Foundation for Life, Biogas. There will be 3 of us who will facilitate and teach in this course. In later modules, you will meet Russell Carter. Russell is part of our family and the production manager here at Peacemakers. He brings a wealth of creative, practical skills to all his projects. Also with me is Paul Harris, and I were colleagues at the University of Adelaide, and after we both retired, we discovered we're on a common path to help people understand and use biogas. Paul's extensive experience in teaching biogas will be a great asset to this course. Paul, welcome, and would you share with us about the course and what's going to happen in this module?
Thank you, Alan. I'm glad to be part of this training. We're going to use a live-learn approach to teaching. We will do it and then teach it. This is the best way to help people with transformative learning. That is, give your learning some meaning, helping you change and to improve your community. In the case of A Foundation for Life Biogas, there will be 10 modules in the course. Modules will be delivered online and with quizzes and assessments to help you engage and to learn.
Wow.
We are even considering awarding a badge or a certificate at the end of the course. The first module, titled Unboxing, Getting to Know Your Digester and Planning Your Installation, is just step 1.
Right.
We'll follow with modules on safety and assembly, initial startup, ongoing operation, about biogas and its use, using the fertiliser, and then we will give you some suggestions about managing biogas, storage of biogas, heating the digester, maintenance and troubleshooting.
Wow, this sounds like it's going to be a comprehensive course.
Yes, it is, and we hope it helps you make good use of your digester.
Let's get started.
Remember, this module is designed to supplement the owner's manual. Always keep referring back to this useful guide to get the best out of your digester.
Good advice, Paul. Let's talk about some outcomes. When you have completed this module, you should be able to first identify all parts of your Homebiogas version 2 digester. Second, you should understand where all the parts fit into the system.
This module will help you with that process and give you a bit of extra information as well.
Third, organise the parts for easier assembly.
We found it helpful to carefully remove each part from the box and lay it on the ground in a similar order to the owner's manual. This is also a good check that everything was in the box. Take time to check out some of the references we make to the owner's manual and the Homebiogas website, also mentioned. We will unpack a lot of these concepts in later modules. The sooner you start to learn the how and why, including the strengths and even possible weaknesses of biogas, science and practice, that will begin to improve your life.
This is also important to remember. You will get the most out of this learning module if you watch it all the way through in one setting, stopping it when requested. But then watch the module again, pause it often and reflect on the content and refer to the owner's manual and the mentioned website. If you have a question, take note of it, Google it, ask the question, and if that doesn't give you the answer, then please email us and ask us. Our email addresses are at the end of the module.
We will be exploring some of the information from Biogas 101 in future biogas course modules. This webpage does, however, deserve a good read and think, particularly if you are new to biogas.
When you get to this slide the second time around watching the module, put the URL bit.ly/biogasguide, lowercase, all one word, into your browser, and it will redirect you to this useful resource. You will become familiar with part of the owner's manual. We refer to some pages, but we cover the exciting bits first and come back to some of the more relevant pages later. In other modules, we will unpack the more complex bits.
This is a map of where we are heading. Times are an estimate only and will vary depending on your expertise, your experience, and on the quality and quantity of startup material, as well as on the operating temperature. After the excitement of unpacking your box carefully and before rushing into assembly, please consider where you want to place the digester, which we will talk about shortly. Use only a hand screwdriver, as power tools can damage the digester. The boiling water is for softening the 20mm pipe for joining. The 1200 litres of water is for filling the digester. Initially we check for leaks, then we add startup material. The dry sand is used to weight the gas tank to provide the supply pressure. Remember, biogas is a natural process and takes some time, so be patient and give nature a chance to help you. Home biogas assumes you will be feeding food scraps in a domestic setting. They suggest putting the digester near your kitchen and cooking area. If you are using animal waste, it may be easier to put the digester near the waste source so you do less carrying. We will be covering some alternative ideas for the storage and use of biogas in another module. Siting is fairly easy in warm climates, but you may need more thought in cooler climates. We covered this in our module Heating the Digester. On the layout diagram, you will notice we have modified the dimensions to show the minimum space requirements for the digester in a way more familiar for Australians. Your installation may require a bigger area, for example if you need heating or storage. This overview of the completed system may look simple, or may be a bit confusing if biogas, plumbing and technology are not your thing, but a lot of thought, effort and trial have gone into providing you with a device that is easy to put together and to operate.
The more familiar you are with the parts of the system, the easier the assembly will be. Please pause the video now and make sure you understand the parts and their location in the assembly.
This is page 9 of the owner's manual and shows the big bits in the box. These parts are cleverly packed, so be careful of smaller bits inside some parts. To help you see how we put the parts together, we have added some directional arrows to the diagram.
Again, please pause the video now and make sure you understand where the digester parts fit.
The box also contains 2 parts bags. One bag has 10 large sealing rings for joining the large pipes and a small tube of lubricant to make that easier. The other parts bag has 4 large hose clips for large pipe joins, 4 small hose clips for the 20mm gas tubing joins, 1 very small clip for the 10mm gas tubing, a support cord for the fertiliser outlet. Please note that there are an extra 2 hose clips and a 90-degree elbow if a 90-degree bend is needed in the 20mm pipeline. Please refer to page 27 of the manual for details.
Finally, a stove is an option and won't be in your box unless you ordered it. Also, there are 50 plastic bags for sand, a 1 litre measuring container and 2 bags of bioballs if requested. Paul, what's a bioball?
Bioballs provide a surface for microbes to grow on, so they are less likely to be washed out of the digester unit. If you have very liquid waste or pulverise your scraps in a waste disposal unit, the bioballs may be quite necessary. But if you are feeding chunks of food scraps or animal waste with hay and straw in it, you will not really need bioballs, as they could get lost the first time you empty the sludge. In our module on maintenance, we will discuss recovery of bioballs. These balls are typically used in aquarium or water treatment settings. There are many different designs, sizes and colours. and may look quite different than the photo here. This is the start of the digestion process, where readily degradable organic waste is fed into the digester via the sink. The plunger is used to push scraps through the inlet to minimise biogas escape and to cover the inlet to reduce smells and flies. The operation module will provide some more detail on feeding the digester.
Paul, with this inlet assembly is a drainage outlet cap. What is that for and why is it with the inlet parts?
Good question. Remember on the exploded view of the parts, what's in the box part 1, we showed a red arrow on the right hand side indicating where the cap fits. It is on the inlet side of the digester and is only needed about once a year to remove the settled solid sludge. Refer to the maintenance manual.
Okay.
Now we get to the heart of the system, where all the digestion action takes place. The bladder keeps any smells in, traps the biogas, and maintains the anaerobic or oxygen-free environment critical to methane production. That's the beautiful blue flame that is hard to see in bright daylight.
Okay, so what's the zipper for?
The vinyl bag you see is to hold the water and gas pressure in, and it actually protects an inner bag. Inside the green-black bag is another bag that holds the liquid and biogas. The zip is to allow access to the inner bag. The outer bag does not actually keep the biogas in. The Homebiogas unit is a plug-flow digester. What goes in must come out, like most anaerobic digesters. The liquid you put in, along with broken down organic matter containing soluble nutrients for plants, overflows through this pipe. This overflow also sets the liquid level in the digester unit, and the bottom of the horizontal pipe must end up lower than the inlet sink. Solids that settle are removed through an outlet at the base of the unit, below the inlet unit, about once per year. See the maintenance module.
Now, this is like a septic tank, right?
Yes.
That's also emptied periodically. How do we get rid of this stuff? Do we need to get somebody in to do it, or do we do it ourselves?
What's left in the bottom of the digester is a grey, dark grey, porridge-like substance containing less soluble nutrients like phosphorus and organic carbon. This is compost and will enrich your garden soil. If you do add human or animal waste, you should not use the fertiliser directly on root vegetables or sprinkle it over any food vegetables like leafy vegetables or strawberries. The chlorine tablet in the outlet is to kill microbes, so that helps. And nature is really good at recycling waste if we allow a little time. Humans tend to rush everything. We will tell you more in the maintenance module. Biogas collects here to begin its journey to its final use, probably your stove. The short pipe on the left of the gas outlet unit goes into the fertiliser outlet through a cap. This pipe limits the pressure that can develop in the system by releasing excess gas to atmosphere if necessary in an emergency. To avoid wasting biogas, try to minimise biogas release to the atmosphere.
So what is the secret to optimise the benefits of biogas?
Optimise is an interesting concept. I think optimum depends on context, but once specified, it is not a secret. For biogas, do you want maximum biogas or minimum effort or something else? I'm glad you specified benefits, which I think are producing a clean, easily controlled fuel for your cooking needs. To achieve this, you want to feed enough scraps to make your daily fuel need. This will mean you should have a stable digestion system with maximum waste conversion and minimum excess biogas escaping to atmosphere. The gas bladder sitting on top of the digester unit is a variable volume storage. It will expand as gas is produced and deflate while gas is being burned. A storage is an important component since gas is produced steadily 24/7 but you will normally only have a few cooking sessions per day, usually some longer than others.
Over time, just how hard is it to manage input to output? Do you do it by reducing your organic input or just use more gas? How do you balance it?
It is a balancing act. If the bladder is getting completely filled regularly, you can simply leave the stove running to burn off excess gas. But if it is regular, I suggest also reducing the amount of feed to the digester to lower gas production. But there will not be an instant response. If the problem is not enough gas, look at what is being fed to make sure you're not inhibiting the digestion process or hurrying too much. Try increasing the feed amount to improve gas production, but do this in small steps to give the digester time to adjust. Remember, overfeeding will make your digester sick, just as you will be sick if you eat too much. The operation module may be of assistance in balancing gas production and use. Also see the storage use module. A large tube is provided if you need to transport gas more than 3 metres from the digester. It is a good idea to have some distance between the digester, gas bladder and the stove to avoid a burst of flame in the unlikely event of a gas leak. See the troubleshooting module. And the larger diameter pipe reduces pressure loss. If you need to put a bend in the larger tube, a 90-degree elbow and 2 extra hose clips are provided. The smaller, more flexible tube is for the last 3 metres of run to the stove. Note that you must order the stove, it is not automatically in the box. The chlorine tablet goes in the fertiliser outlet to reduce microbial activity, particularly any pathogens that may have survived anaerobic digestion, which does remove over 95% of pathogens anyway. It will also kill the microbes doing the waste digestion so they don't get active in your garden, releasing methane to the atmosphere. The gas filter is to remove smells like hydrogen sulfide, also known as rotten egg gas, a possible byproduct of digestion and very poisonous if inhaled. These items will be discussed more in the maintenance module.
The optimal foam sheets provided help protect the digester from small stones and also reduce the heat loss under the digester. More on heat can be found in our module on heating the digester. We hope this module of unboxing your digester has helped you identify the components which make up the Homebiogas version 2 unit.
You should also have learned where the components go and a little about biogas and its uses. Now that you know what the contents of the box are, which may take several viewings of this unboxing module, you can see what other modules are available so you can become a safe, informed and competent biogas operator.
The order of modules we suggest is safety and assemble, initial startup, operation, about biogas and its use, utilising the fertiliser, managing biogas and storage of biogas, heating the digester, maintenance and troubleshooting.
Of course, if you already know some areas, you may skip the module, but we do still want you to do the quizzes to earn your certificate at the end of the course.
If you haven't purchased the Homebiogas version 2 yet, please help us send a digester to a community in a developing nation. The Homebiogas version 2 is currently on special, but even at the full price of US $790 plus freight, it will be under $1,000. The team at Homebiogas have granted us affiliate status and given us a purchase code PEACE, that's PEACE 777. If you use that when you order online, US $50 will go towards the purchase of a digester for missions. The plan is once we have enough funds for another digester, it will go to a missions location as a piece of luggage with a YWAM outreach. With it will be access to a 10-module biogas course to train the local people how to assemble, activate and use the digester. Peacemakers will remain in contact to help them get the best out of this life-changing technology. What do you think? Can you help us fund this creative community development project? We would really appreciate you taking the time to give us your opinions. Your constructive feedback will help us improve our training modules. Pause this video and type into your browser bit.ly/ then as one word, all lowercase, Biogas Survey 01. Then please take 3 minutes to complete the survey. We hope you have found this training module useful and are interested to do the rest of the course. As a final reminder, please email us if you have any questions, and thank you for your time.